Good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela, and we are the Castro.
We bring you the news.
And the views that make you think.
Sometimes we agree.
Sometimes we don't.
This is News and Views.
And here are today's headlines.
The House of Representatives has formally designated its prosecution team that will handle the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte before the Senate.
5 senators have filed a resolution urging Senator Bato de la Rosa to surrender to authorities amid an ICC warrant against him.
17 more Filipino crew members of the hantavirus hit MV Hondius have been placed under quarantine in the Netherlands.
And the Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas and Signal have extended their broadcast partnership for continued coverage of local and international basketball events.
First in the news, the House of Representatives has formally named its prosecution team for the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte before the Senate. The prosecution panel is composed of Representatives Jervil Luistro, Keith Flores, Bel Zamora, Lawrence Defensor, Joel Chua, Laila de Lima, and Shell Jokno. Also included in the team are Representatives Terry Ridon, Rog Gutierrez, Kaka Bagao, and Lordan Suwan. The House prosecutors will present and defend the articles of impeachment once the upper chamber formally convenes as an impeachment court.
Calls are mounting for the Senate to immediately begin the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte amid growing concerns over possible delays in the process. Here is the report.
Legal scholars are urging the Senate to immediately convene and proceed with the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. In a joint statement, legal luminaries commended the House of Representatives for approving the impeachment complaint, but criticized what they describe as brazen attempts to stall the start of the trial. They stress that the Senate's refusal or failure to act as an impeachment court could constitute as a dereliction of duty and a violation of the Constitution. Meanwhile, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines also called on senators to follow the constitutional process and proceed with the impeachment trial without delay. The Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry echoed the appeal, urging swift but orderly proceedings, saying the country must move forward while ensuring due process is upheld.
What we need to know now as the country is trying to reel out of this crisis, we can't have any more distractions. So our wish, our healing from the private sector, whatever will happen is to do it expeditiously and fast so we can get back to what we need. What we should be doing is trying to help our economy bangon again and to reel back, especially to help our MSMEs. We couldn't leave the country hanging. So whatever would happen, we're apolitical. Whatever would happen, let's do it through our legal means. Sundan natin ang batas, pero bilisan natin and let's get back to helping our kababayan.
Okay, so when si Senator Peter Cayetano, Senate President Peter Cayetano was being interviewed yesterday about this, he assured the public naman that they will convene as an impeachment court the moment the articles of impeachment is transmitted to the Senate.
We all know naman, allies sila ng other side, which is the Duterte camp. So, ang tinatanong ng marami, even sa prosecution, ano ba ang play nila? In other words, if they're not going to block the impeachment, from them convening into an impeachment court, baka daanin kasi sa boto. Diba? So, that's what they're preparing for. So, kailangan yung evidence must be really compelling the way it's presented.
And it's also good to note na yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, may move si Senator Rodante Marcoleta to include electronic voting pagdating sa mga ganitong klaseng pagdedesisyon ng Senado. So, of course, you will think na baka they're trying to protect the vote of Bato de la Rosa just in case siya ay talagang madiretso na sa ICC and the other members of the Senate like yung may mga kaso sa flood control.
Yeah, but
So, kasi 'di ba constitution kung if the ano ba standard practice no sinasabi nila dapat nandoon ka present.
nandun ka present to appreciate the facts.
Oo.
Ang problema niyan, will they allow him to vote if he is not there present
That's
during
why
the
may
trial?
resolution daw na pinapasa itong si Senator Rodante Marcoleta to allow it. So,
How can you-
I'm sure magkakaroon ng debate dyan sa plenaryo pag nangyari
How can you
yan.
allow somebody to vote for a case na hindi naman niya nakikita? Because ang question of whether he will, if, let's say, Senator Bato is detained sa ICC, if lang I don't think the ICC will allow him to watch the impeachment trial or to partake with it via online, di
And the
ba?
only thing that I can remember that this was allowed is during the pandemic kasi bawal naman talaga pumunta sa plenaryo at that time. But of course,
Yeah, let's get insights from Edmund Tayaw, President and CEO of the Political Economic Elemental Researchers and Strategists, or PEERS. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
hello.
Good morning, Angela. Magandang umaga sa mga sa mga nanonood.
All right, sir, now that yung nang-impeach na si Vice President Sara Duterte sa lower house and nabuo na po yung House prosecution team, ano po ang reaction niyo sa composition nito?
Well, that was quite expected already, Angelo. No, this is also an opportunity to emphasize that if you look at the qualifications of many of the members of the House of Representatives, di hamak na mas may qualification itong mga ito, no? Kumpara sa Senado. Now, I'm saying that because that has not been the case before,
Yes.
no? And therefore, in that particular regard, I am quite confident, no, with the way the House handled this impeachment. And also let me emphasize that thanks also to the decision of the Supreme Court requiring the House of Representatives to really carefully weigh in on the case by looking at the evidence before transmitting it to the Senate. As you know, of course, because this is a political exercise, it has always been deemed enough on the part of the House of Representatives to just transmit articles of impeachment by simply because they have their numbers. You've seen
Yes.
this during the impeachment of former President Erap Estrada, na yung pang-transmittal sa prayer pa dinaan, but this time talagang masusing tinignan kasi yun na nga yung ni-require ng Korte Suprema. Sa madalit sabi, bago pa umabot ito sa Senado, nakita na natin na we already had sort of trailer, so to speak. We now have an idea how this is going to be prosecuted by the members of the prosecution team as far as the House of Representatives is concerned.
In relation lang to that question, well, we all know kasi na how meticulous the House Justice Committee was in its process to transmit this to the Senate. Now, given they follow the mga utos ng Supreme Court, ano do you think mga pwedeng gawin ng new leadership under Senator Adam Peter Cayetano? Will they try to delay this again like the last leadership kay former Senate President Cheese Escudero? Or do you think wala silang choice but to go straight into convening into a impeachment court?
Well, nakita naman na natin yung mga galaw nila, lalong-lalo na dito kay fugitive Senator Bato de la Rosa. Alam mo, puro invento ang ginagawa nila. Kaya nga in-emphasize ko ngayon, in-emphasize ko kanina, na kumpara sa Senado, malayo namang mas kwalipikado ang mga miyembro ng Kamara, kumpara dati. Now, I'm emphasizing that kasi katulad nitong pag-hold nila kay Senator Bato, invento yan, Angelo. Yung resolution, hindi naman batas yan. Yan kumbaga sa parliamentary procedure, yan manifestation. Kumbaga,
right.
you're expressing your thought on a particular issue, but it doesn't hold water just as any law actually does hold water. And yun yung pinag-uusapan nyo kanina, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, no?
Yeah.
Nag-iisip sila kung paano din sila iimbento, no, ng paraan kung paano ang tawag dito, mapapayagan pa din nila kasi they need numbers eh.
Yeah.
So that in other words, it's quite obvious kahit pa ilang beses pang sabihin ni Senator Alan, no, at kahit ilang beses pa niyang ipakitang nagdadasal siya, no, kahit na alam mo napaplastikan ako eh. I just have to mention this, no, kasi kung kahit na sino, whether ibang denomination o hindi, parehong Biblia ang ginagamit at nakasaad doon klarong-klaro, no. Pang magdadasal ka, hindi kailangan ipakita mo sa buong madla na nagdadasal ka, akala mo ikaw relihiyoso. I'm saying this because this is very much related to what they're doing right now. It's as if they are invoking that they are being guided by righteousness and so on and so forth. Pero halatang-halata mo na ito ay para lang sa impeachment, no? And they need the numbers precisely because the soonest time that the cases, no, that many are expecting, no, to be filed against 3 other members of the new majority, no, Senator Jinggoy, Senator Joey Villanueva na napakagaling na aktor din pala, no, and Senator Chis Escudero, no. Kapag nangyari yun, plunder yan, Angelo, no, Angela,
Yeah.
no. So yan non-bailable. Para din po sa kaalaman ng mga nanonood, ang immunity po nag-a-apply lang kung 6 years below ang pen
That's right.
ng ito, no? Ito po plunder, non-bailable po ito. At yung kaso ni Senator Bato, ibang-iba po doon sa kaso ni Senator Ping, no? Sinasabi ko to kasi nakita ko sa social media, sinasabi nila si Senator Ping ay fugitive din noon. Yes, that's true. Except that Senator Ping's case before is plain and simple really more political, no? Etong kaso ni Senator Bato hindi lang crimes against humanity at hindi lang Pilipinas ang involved dito, no? So magkaiba po yung kasong yon. So I'm saying this as a way to reference what you're asking. Anong gagawin nila? Nakikita na natin, no, kahit pa ilang pong beses sabihin ni Senator Alan na hindi nila pinilit magpalit ng liderato, hindi nila pinilit mag-attend si Senator Bato de la Rosa simply because they want to change the leadership and therefore affect the outcome of the impeachment.
That's right. Iniisip ko nga, Prof, baka mamaya in the future makakita na rin tayo ng 3-4 pang senador na titira dyan sa Senado dahil in the future may mga kanya-kanya silang mga kaso. But my question is, of course, yung...
Magpatin lang ako, Angela. I hope you don't mind. No? Pero isingit lang. Actually, pwede naman na ipilit ng law enforcement na talagang hulihin. Kasi yung sinasabi ni Senator Alan, sinasabi ni Senator Jinggoy na hindi pa nangyari na may hinuli sa Senate President, hindi po totoo yun. No? Ang instance na hinuli mismo sa Senado right after the session ang isang nakaupong senador. Nangyari yan kay late Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, nangyari yan kay Senator Trillanes. So hindi ho totoo yun. Ngayon, kung pipilitin ng law enforcement na hulihin sila, lalo na halimbawa meron ng plunder case yung 3, no? Pagpalagay natin huhulihin silang 4 na tawag dito na nag-i-stay sa Senado. Pwedeng gawin 'yon, pero alam mo, I will bet to you, no, na ang magiging naratibo na naman nitong mga DDS silent martial law, no. So alam mo talagang magaling sila kasi na alam mo 'yon, tawag dito, gumawa ng kwento at alam mo sa nakakalungkot, no, may mga naniniwala pa din, no. Pero tingnan natin kung paano magiging takbo nito because at the end of the day, they're really making this very political when it's really more of accountability.
Well, of course, still on Senator Bato de la Rosa, what can you say also about his plea to the President yesterday na wag sana siyang dalhin sa ICC? Your thoughts on that?
Alam mo, Angela, that's already beyond the President, no? Again, because I remember pretty clearly, no, that the President has always been saying that as much as possible, hindi natin isosurrender yung mga akusado dito sa atin because that will also suggest that the legal process, the justice system in the country is working. No? Pero ang nangyari kasi ICC, dinaan nila ito sa Interpol eh. Perhaps international law enforcement expert can best explain this process. Pero kasi walang pinag-ibayan doon sa kwento nung naandon sa Hong Kong, kung natatandaan ninyo, si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, bago siya mahuli. And in fact, talagang nangihingi siya ng kustodiya doon, no, ng asylum. Pero hindi pinayagan ito ng bansang China kasi Interpol na ang kausap nila eh. Ang bansang China gumagamit din at kailangan din nila yung Interpol to hulihin yung mga fugitive din, no, sa China. Kaya hindi nila pwedeng hindi ang tawag dito i-recognize yung authority ng Interpol. And the same case is now with us. Kung hindi Interpol yung involved dito at walang ganong coordination with ICC, siguro nagkaroon pa ng pagkakataon ng gobyerno na hindi isuko ang dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Ganun din itong kaso ni Senator Bato de la Rosa. You're now talking of Interpol, and that is precisely why there's a close coordination between local law enforcement and Interpol.
Well, we were headlines all over the world regarding this issue last Monday.
Sikat na sikat.
BBC, Reuters, New York Times, name it, diba? Nandoon tayo. At ang headlines pa most specifically...
Salamat sa mayorya, no? Salamat kay Senator Alan at napakasikat natin sa buong mundo ngayon.
So, what can you say about that as well? Paano to maka-apekto sa atin as a nation? Here you are, there's clearly a power struggle inside the Senate institution dahil may mga senador urging Senator Bato de la Rosa to surrender, and then the other faction is protecting him.
Hindi ko na alam, Angela, kung anong magiging reaction dito. Nawalan na ako ng katatawanan at naubusan na ako ng kalungkutan sa magiging reaction dito. It's really paano ba? Exasperating, no? Perhaps that's the right appropriate term, no, to describe, no, the feeling of anyone, no, as far as this development is concerned. Now, alam mo, lalong-lalo na nagpasikat yung magkiklaim ka na that there was a struggle na pinigilan ka. Yung pala ang kalaban mo hagdan, no? So ang sumikat dito hindi lang Pilipino, kung hindi lalong-lalo na si Senator Bato de la Rosa na nung panahon nila akala mo kung sinong matapang at sinong magaling, yung pala hagdan pa lang magduduguan at maghihingal na siya, no? So these are supposedly minor stories, so to speak, but precisely the significance of his suddenly showing up, no, and tilting the balance in the Senate really makes it a very significant event, no, in the country. Not to mention, again, if I may emphasize, this has everything to do with the impeachment. Hindi ito dahil lang sa hindi sila masaya sa pagpapatakbo ni Senator Soto, no, pero ito ay plain and simple power grab, no, by a group that wants to dictate the narrative in favor of the Dutertes. Okay. Banggitin ko na rin, no, yung signature campaign to free former President Rodrigo Duterte, hindi man lang inabot ng 1 milyon. This morning, I was just informed by friends na meron palang signature campaign na magtuloy ang impeachment at ito ay mahigit 6 na milyon na. Right. So you can see the difference. And for a veteran politico like Senator Alan Cayetano, first time that I will hear na he's not in touch of the people's pulse, no, if he still pursues and remains on the side of the Dutertes and protect the Dutertes, baka magandang tingnan po ninyo kung anong sentimento ng taong bayan.
Prof, last question na lang before we let you go. On the other side of the fence naman, sa hanay po ng NBI at the authorities dito sa Philippines, what should have been done po? Kumbaga kasi, di ba, over the weekend, pumutok yung balita that there was an arrest warrant na nga, pero there were denials pa rin on the side of the government. And here you are, NBI was apparently arresting Bato in the Senate with Senator Trillanes. But the LG secretary naman, on the other hand, was still denying at the time. What can you say about that?
Alam mo, katawa-tawa din ito si Secretary DILG Secretary Mulya, no? Hindi ko alam nakailang supply na yan, no? Lalong-lalo na yung announcement na nahuli si Congressman Saldi, sa kanya galing yon, no? Hindi ko nga alam kung bakit malakas pa rin ang loob na nagdadaldal, halatang-halata naman na bukang hindi siya updated, no? Now, as far as the NBI is concerned, na-explain naman ni Director Matibag yan, and I couldn't agree more, no? Ang iniharap niya mga babae ng mga ahente.
Yes,
so
right.
You can just imagine how brazen, no? Senator Bato de la Rosa na talaga mga babae nga yan, hindi ba man lang niya naisip na baka pwedeng makipag-usap muna ng malumanay na sabihin baka pwedeng mag-attend muna ako ng session bago ninyo ako huliin. Very ungentleman, no? Meron ngang kasabihan, an officer and a gentleman, but the way the senator acted, no, in this particular case, halatang nawala lahat yung nawala lahat yung nawawala ako. Nawala
can we
lahat
clear that line, please? Thank you.
No? So, in other words, tama sana yung pag-handle ng law enforcement because I suppose the NBI had the impression that the Senate was acting as an institution, as a formal institution in that regard.
All right.
Well, thank you for your
As
insights
always.
and your time. Ed Montayo, President and CEO of the Political Economic Elemental Researchers and Strategists or Peers.
Salamat
Thank
po.
you.
All right, let's now check the latest at the House of Representatives with mobile journalist Amy Atienza. Amy, kamusta na ang preparations dyan ng prosecution team?
Good morning, Angela, Diego. Nako, dahil nga hindi pa rin natatransmit itong articles of impeachment sa Senate, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman yung paghahanda nga ng House Prosecution Panel pagdating dito sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte, no, na mamaya-maya ay makakapanayam din natin, no, si Congressman Nonoy Defensor para nga malaman din kung ano nga ba yung particulars pagdating dito sa preparations na ginagawa nila. And so far ay hoping pa rin, no, yung ilang mga mambabatas dito na sana nga daw ay magtuloy-tuloy in according to timeline. And of course, forthwith itong impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Siyempre, pag na-transmit na din itong articles of impeachment kay VP Sara nga, no, ay sana nga daw mag-convene na ang Senate Impeachment Court. Pero titingnan pa rin natin yung magiging daloy niya, lalo na sa Senado. Dahil nga ito yung pagpapakita din, yung pag-show up ni Senator Bato de la Rosa ay naging important factor din para nga din na mapansin or makita yung possibility na baka nga daw may changes in the timeline so far. Kasi ang expected din dito sa House during the past few days ay this Wednesday sana, no, magsisimula nga itong impeachment trial kay Vice President Sara Duterte sa Senate Impeachment Court. Pero with all these things happening nga, ay syempre inaasahan nga na may changes na mangyayari. Bukod pa dyan, no, Angela, Diego, may bahagi ko lang din. Syempre may mga inaabangan pa rin yung mga kongresista dito. Kani-kanina lamang may nag-file din ng bill, kabilang na ngayon 41 lawmakers para nga dito sa investigation ng Peanut Gallery Media Network dahil nga daw sa extortion na ginagawa nito. And yun nga, titingnan pa natin yung developments din na gagawin mismo ng House of Representatives pagdating dito dahil may mga nadadawit na rin talagang important personalities pagdating dito sa Kamara. So yun, yung mga aabangan natin mismo dito na mangyayari sa Kamara. And yung mga, of course, insights din ng mga hindi naman kasali sa prosecution panel. Alamin natin kung ano yung level of confidence nila pagdating dito sa takbo ng impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte.
All right, thank you for that, mobile journalist Amy Atienza.
Okay.
Ang daming kaganapan.
Kasi we were expecting
Yeah,
na talaga matransmit na yung articles of impeachment. But of course, according to the House Secretariat, they were actually collating, reproducing thousands of pages
Yes,
of documents.
Kasi madaming nadagdagan pa tong articles
Yes.
from the previous one eh. Oo.
Before they can transmit it
Yes.
to the Senate. Now, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Good morning. You're still watching News and Views here on One News. A group of senators is calling on Senator Ronald De La Rosa to voluntarily submit to authorities after the International Criminal Court, or ICC, confirmed it has issued an arrest warrant against him. Here's the report.
Former Senate President Tito Soto and 4 other senators from the minority bloc have filed a resolution urging Senator Bato de la Rosa to surrender to authorities. The resolution was co-sponsored by Senators Ping Lacson, Kiko Pangilinan, Rizzo Ontiveros, and Bam Aquino. De la Rosa is currently staying at his Senate office after the International Criminal Court confirmed that it had issued an arrest warrant against him. The resolution cited previous instances of voluntary surrender and judicial submission involving former senators who also faced charges and arrest, including Juan Ponce Enrile, Laila de Lima, and Sonny Trillanes. Senator Bato reiterated that he is willing to face the charges against him, but only before a Philippine court. Meanwhile, Malacanang said all accused individuals would be treated equally and in accordance with the law.
Maski naman po yung mga EJK victims ay humihingi rin po ng proteksyon sa gobyerno. So, ang akusadong katulad ni Senator Bato ay humingi ng proteksyon. Lahat naman po ay bibigyan ng proteksyon na naaayon sa batas.
Palace Press Officer Claire Castro also dismissed De La Rosa's statement that President Marcos could face charges or arrest after leaving office.
Sana tinanong niyo muna kung anong kaso. Kasi kung pag-uusapan natin kung madadala siya sa dahig, that's definitely impossible. Kasi ang Pangulo ay hindi nag-commit ng EJK.
In an interview with News 5's Frontline Pilipinas, De La Rosa said he has no regrets about returning to the Senate.
May pagsisisi ba na nagpakita ka at bumalik kayo sa Senado?
Wala akong pagsisi. Desisyon ko yun eh. Ang pinagsisihan ko ngayon kung bakit ako masyadong matapat sa aking tungkulin from day one of my military and police service. Bakit ako nagtrabaho ng husto? Yun rin pala. At the end of the day, mamalasing ka lang rin pala sa yung tapat na pagsisilbi ng bayan.
The senator added that he returned to the Senate to participate in key votes on leadership changes and impeachment-related matters. Kapatid Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, We're One News.
The Philippine National Police said it has not received any official instruction regarding the implementation of the ICC arrest warrant against Senator Bato de la Rosa. Mobile journalist Merimon Reyes has the report.
No order yet to arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa. This was the PNP stand on the former PNP chief turned lawmaker who is currently seeking refuge at the upper chamber building. That's after NBI agents tried to arrest him on Monday, May 11. The NBI, together with former Senator Antonio Trillanes, were carrying an order from the International Criminal Court ordering De La Rosa's arrest as a co-perpetrator in the crimes against humanity case of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The Philippine National Police, however, said the local bureau of the International Criminal Police Organization, or Interpol, has yet to coordinate with them regarding the arrest warrant against De La Rosa, which the police force said is ready to implement once it comes out.
Ang CIDG ang pangunahing unit ng Philippine National Police na sinasabi natin mangunguna doon sa contingency plan na i-implement natin. So handang-handa naman ang Philippine National Police, lalo na po yung ating CIDG personnel, na kung sakasakaling maitap na sila ng NCB, PCTC na implement yung ICC warrant. At ito ipapatupad at sila handang-handa naman.
The PNP spokesperson further added that the warrant for De La Rosa's arrest may be implemented in two ways. The first option, Tuanyo said, is extradition. The second option is direct surrender under Republic Act 9851 or the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, Genocide, and other crimes against humanity. The NCB-PCTC would then task the Department of Justice, the Department of Foreign Affairs, the PNP, and the NBI with implementing the directive, which Tuanyo said is yet to happen. So the question now, Can Bato actually just leave the Senate? Well, based on the PNP's update, he can. But the senator remains holed up in the Senate. He actually spent the night there after his encounter with the NBI on Monday.
Hindi kayo nakatulog po. Sir, bakit? Are you worried kaya hindi kayo nakakatulog?
Currently, De La Rosa's camp is exhausting all legal remedies to prevent his arrest. There is a petition filed before the Supreme Court where De La Rosa is seeking protection from the ICC warrant. His lawyers continue to argue that only a local court can issue a warrant for the senator. The SC, they say, needs to clarify this.
It is very important so that the tension would be at least stopped or at least lessened. So that while the petition is, the main petition is still being deliberated, there is a TRO that will be issued hopefully, and that would stop the PNP and other government agencies.
Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano maintains that De La Rosa will continue to have the Senate's protection unless a local court issues a warrant for his arrest. This is why De La Rosa is determined to fight his impending capture.
Kahit sino, tanongin natin sino Pilipino gusto gano'n mangyari. We will exhaust all available means, legal means. Kailangan gawin natin lahat para hindi na tayo madala doon sa dahig.
An emotional De La Rosa even went as far as to ask President Bongbong Marcos not to surrender him to the ICC.
Hindi lang para sa akin, kundi para na rin sa lahat ng mga Pilipino na malagay sa ganitong sitwasyon. Tao lang ako. Hindi ako robot. Hindi ako makina. Tao lang ako. My appeal is sincere to the President. Huwag niya akong ipadala sa dahil. Kung meron akong nanagutan, panagutin ko dito sa ating local road. Huwag doon sa Banyaga.
Kapatid Mobile journalist Mary Monreyes, we are One News.
Joining us now is former Integrated Bar of the Philippines President Attorney Domingo Cayosa to help us break down the legal implications of the ICC arrest warrant involving Senator Bato de la Rosa and related constitutional issues. Good morning, Attorney. Thank you for joining us again.
Good morning. Magandang umaga sa ating mga kababayan.
Nakahinga na ba kayo, Attorney? You're all over our channel. Anyway, so under the Philippine law and existing international obligations, how is an ICC-issued warrant supposed to be recognized and executed locally?
The local law that's relevant is RA 9851. The law that defines and penalizes crimes against humanity. This was passed by Congress and approved by the President of the Philippine Republic in 2009 pa. So matagal-tagal na ito. It's practically a copy of the provisions of many of the laws in other countries and patterned after the treaty provisions, yung definition of crimes against humanity. Section 17 of this law says that if a foreign tribunal or an international tribunal has acquired jurisdiction and is already currently hearing or investigating a particular crime against humanity, then the Republic of the Philippines has the option of directly surrendering the citizen to the international tribunal. That's very clear. And I think that's the basis for the Republic of the Philippines through the executive branch and the NBI, PNP, that's a basis for their attempt to arrest, serve the warrant and arrest Senator Bato de la Rosa the other day. Malinaw po yan. The other issue there is why is the Republic of the Philippines cooperating with ICC when in fact during the term of President Duterte we already withdrew from the Rome Statute or the ICC treaty. The answer there is because the treaty itself, which the Republic of the Philippines signed into earlier, that there's a provision there that says that for cases that were already investigated or ongoing prior to the withdrawal of a member country, in the Rome Statute, the jurisdiction remains and there is a residual obligation on the part of the country withdrawing to cooperate with the ICC with respect to those cases earlier filed or investigated. So yun ho yung dalawang batas na malinaw na batayan dito sa ginagawa ng gobyerno in serving the warrant of arrest.
But may follow-up question lang ako, Attorney. So having said that, even if without an diffusion order from the Interpol, the arrest warrant from the ICC is binding and executory, ganun po ba yun?
Yes, it is a valid warrant of arrest. Our own law, yung RA 9851 nga, recognizes the warrants of arrest by international tribunal, and ICC is an international tribunal. I think the confusion happens because some people misrepresent or confuse this arrest under RA 9851 with extradition. Iba ho kasi yung extradition. Extradition, it's a local law of a foreign country that issues the warrant of arrest, and then kung may extradition treaty tayo, the process is our local courts will check whether or not that warrant is authentic, that the rights of the person subject of the warrant is was not violated, and then i-confirm nila ito. So ganun ang extradition because that's also provided for under the extradition treaty between countries. So it's a state-to-state relationship. In the case of crimes against humanity, we're not dealing with a state. The ICC is not a state. It's an international tribunal, which our laws recognize. And also, this argument against, and nag-withdraw na tayo. No less than the Supreme Court in a number of instances already said we have residual responsibilities. The liabilities of those who were investigated and undergoing trial remain even if we already withdrew, provided that this started before the withdrawal. So malinaw na ko yun, nako-confuse lang o kaya kino-confuse lang ang taong bayan.
Actually, Attorney, you and several other lawyers we've spoken to here on the show and on other programs share the same sentiment na yun talaga ang pwede mangyari. If the police wants to effect an arrest and surrender si Senator Bato, they can do so. But the question is, the Senate President and the Senate leadership, the current leadership, chooses not to accept the arrest warrant from ICC and instead has said we'll wait for a local court. So kung in the event na the Senate President will not accept it, ano po ang recourse ng executive branch? Can they still send in a arresting team and pag hinarang ng mga senador, that's obstruction of justice?
Yes, they can do that. As a matter of fact, I think the executive branch is just trying to avoid trouble. Kaya, and we could understand at the first instance, yung araw na yon, nagpanic yung members ng Senate. They didn't know what was happening, so they had resolutions left and right.
That's right.
They cited people in contempt even if it did go through a process kahit walang basehan. So yung knee-jerk reaction ba nila? So now that emotions have died down, the facts are clearer, meron naman palang warrant of arrest. So that the leadership of the Senate and the members of the Senate will follow the law. Because, look, no amount of privileged speech, no amount of resolution, no amount of opinion voiced out by the Senate President or any senator, it will not change the law.
Okay.
They will only express their sentiment, but it will not change the law.
Attorney, ano yung recourse ngayon ng executive branch? I understand naman that they can arrest Senator Bato anytime, but is there something they can do to reinforce the ICC arrest warrant and or maybe use an Interpol diffusion notice para at least ang Tagalog term is wala nang magagawa ang Senate leadership because airtight na ang pinipresent na arrest warrant kay Senator Bato?
But kahit gamitan mo yan ng Interpol diffusion order, red notice, kung ano-ano. Kung talagang namumulitika yung mga nasa Senado and they're partisan to one of their colleagues, malamang ganun din ang sasabihin nila. The quickest really is the executive branch can send an overwhelming force and they will force the sergeant at arms and the security of the Senate to stand down. Secondly, if there's any effort, anyone who would try to impede, frustrate, or hinder the service of the warrant of arrest can be charged for violating Presidential Decree 1829. And the penalty there is not only imprisonment from 4 years and 2 months to 6 years, kasama dyan yung perpetual disqualification from public.
Right.
That, I think, will put some sense into the senators who keep on insisting or obstructing the service of the warrant. Naiintindihan natin nung umpisa, dito sila naging emotional sila, knee-jerk reaction, shooting from the hips. But now na nag-die down, na pag-aralan na ng mga abogado nila, sana naman itigil na nila ito because it keeps on dividing and confusing our people, and at the same time also it is very frustrating for the victims of the EJK. They got the warrant of arrest fair and square after due process. Bakit naman dahil senador pinoprotektahan?
That's right.
So parang parang the Senate is, ang nakikita natin dito is above the law. But you know what, Attorney, we have so much questions, but unfortunately we don't have much time. Hopefully we can invite you again the next time. Thank you so much for your insights, former IBP President Attorney Domingo Cayosa. Magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Good morning, maraming salamat.
Right, now we go to the Senate where Senator Bato de la Rosa remains holed up. We have mobile journalist Fatima Baduria. Fatima, ano bago dyan?
Diego, Angela, mahigit pa rin ngayon ang seguridad sa Senado at mahigit 1,000 mga kapulisan ang nakadeploy sa labas ng gate ng Senate compound habang nagsasagawa ngayon ng protesta. Ang ilang mga grupo kabilang ang Bayan Muna at Anak Pawis, yan yung mga grupong nakita ko kanina, no? At sigaw nila na mapanagot si Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa na kasalukuyan nga nasa protective custody pa rin ng Senado. At kahapon nga nag-file ng resolution ang Senate minority, sila Senator Ontiveros, Pangilinan, Lacson, Aquino at Soto, na nananawagan nga sila para sa voluntaryong pag-surrender ni de la Rosa sa mga otoridad kasunod ng warrant of arrest mula sa ICC. Ang sabi sa resolution, ang pwede lang na maprotektahan at hindi maaresto sa Senado ay ang mga taong may offense na punishable ng 6 years or less. Ayon naman kay Senate President Alan Cayetano, nire-respeto niya itong resolution, pero dapat daw ay ma-exhaust muna lahat ng legal means habang hindi pa ito galing sa Philippine court. Ganito rin yung sinasabi ni Bato na gusto niyang magamit muna lahat nga ng mga legal na remedies para hindi maaresto ngayon na mula pa sa ICC yung warrant at hindi pa sa Philippine court. Kung hanggang kailan naman siya mananatili dito sa Senado ay hindi pa natin alam. Sa ngayon nga, wala pa naman tayong nakikitang mga senador dito dahil mamayang hapon pa naman yung session, pero inaabangan din natin yung iba pang mga developments bukod kay Bato, doon din sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte. So yan yung mga inaabangan natin ngayon, Jerry.
Fatima, any presence or sightings of the NBI arresting team or may mga SWAT rin ba around the area aside from yung police contingent na nakabantay sa perimeter?
Sa ngayon, ang nakikita ko lang talaga ay yung mga police, dahil nga napakarami nila. Actually, ngayon, nahaharangan nga nila yung kalahati ng Jokno Boulevard, yung northbound. Dahil nga talagang hinarangan nila itong gate ng Senado habang mayroong mga nagpo-protest sa labas.
Alright, thank you for that. Mobile journalist Fatima Baduria.
Security around the Senate premises remains tight as Senator Bato de la Rosa stays inside amid an ICC arrest warrant against him. For the details, we have mobile journalist Jazz Paredes. Jazz, go ahead.
Yes, Angela, kahapon nga napag-usapan doon sa press briefing yung naging seguridad sa paligid ng Senate dahil nga ang role ng PNP talaga is to keep the peace and order and yung crowd control sa paligid ng Senate. And kahapon, from 343 dumami sa 700 yung nakapalibot doon sa Senate. Pero as of now, wala pa tayong natatanggap na update kung dumami ba ito or kumonti yung dami ng mga kapulisan doon sa paligid ng Senado. But as of now, we're waiting, no, Diego and Angela, kasi tomorrow, ina-expect nga natin yung May 14, nahaharap si Bato dito sa Camp Crame, sa CIDG office din mismo, para harapin yung subpoena sa kanya na yung Duchess Tecum, na kung saan required siyang humarap dito sa CIDG office para mag-present ng mga ebidensya dahil nga ongoing yung investigation ng DILG mismo para doon sa kaniyang para doon sa EJK killing sa Davao Region, in which si Bato yung nire-request na humarap nga sa CIDG office. And we're still waiting right now kung ano ba yung kanilang magiging preps nga dito sa kanyang pagdating bukas. Diego and Angela.
Alright, thank you so much, mobile journalist Jazz Paredes. In other news, 17 more Filipino crew members of the hantavirus hit ship were placed under quarantine in the Netherlands. The Filipinos arrived at Eindhoven Airport on Tuesday and underwent medical tests before being transferred to designated quarantine facilities. The group is the second batch of Filipino crew members evacuated from the vessel after 4 others arrived on May 10 and were also placed in isolation. Another 17 Filipinos are expected to arrive in Rotterdam on May 17 aboard the MV Hondius. This will bring the total number of Filipinos under quarantine in the Netherlands to 38 before repatriation to the Philippines. We have Dr. Salinel. Hi, Doc. Nice to see you. Good morning. It's been a long time.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, nice to see you again, both of you.
Doc, so paano po ba? Meron pong 38 Filipinos na nag-undergo ng quarantine and then they will be repatriated here in the Philippines. Dapat po bang mangamba ang mga Pilipino dito dahil po dito sa kumakalat na hantavirus?
45 days ang usual na parang quarantine period for them. Within that period, dapat magmamanifest yung patient. So kung after 45 days, wala naman po pinakita ng signs and symptoms, so pwede man natin i-repatriate po yung ating po mga kababayan.
Para malinaw lang, Doc, no? Paano ba talaga, paano mahawa ang isang tao aside from actual yung contact with yung mga rats, no? From human to human, paano mag-transmit itong hantavirus?
Well, ang hantavirus talaga, matagal na yan. 1950s pa yan, 1930s pa yan, dahil sa war sa Korea. Pero alam niyo po ba, rodents to human being, so zoonotic talaga ang mode of transmission. Nagkataon lang po talaga na siguro dahil din sa yung enclose yung space ng cruise ship, yung mga tipo, at they found out nga na Andes strain, kasi marami din parang strain yung mga virus ng hantavirus, di ba? And ito lamang po Andes strain po kasi ang capable of human-to-human transmission. And ito rin po ang binabantayan din po ng WHO na posible pong maging dahilan para po lumaganap nga po itong hantavirus through human-to-human.
So, dugtog ko lang. So, Doc, Andes strain is the only strain na capable of human-to-human transmission. How infectious?
Yes,
Droplets ba ito? Or hangin lang? Or paano, Doc?
Well, actually, ang mode of transmission ng hantavirus po kasi is through the dropping, saliva, ihi ng mga magkakamag-anak or lahi na rodents, mouse deer, yung mga ganyan tipo. Okay? So, kung marami kayong maraming mga ganyan po sa mga areas ninyo, sa garden ninyo, sa community ninyo, sa bahay ninyo, tapos umihi, dumumi yung rats, and then nilinis nyo. Kasi masyado kayo malinis sa bahay, so nilinisan nyo, nag-vacuum kayo, nagwalis kayo, ganyan. Yung virus po ay umaangat sa air, yung pinalalanghap ng tao. Okay, nalalanghap ng tao yon. And then nagmamanifest na nga po ito pong mga, non-specific muna yung umpisa, parang flu-like symptoms, masakit ang ulo, masakit ang kalamnan, sobrang taas ng lagnat, masakit walang ganang kumain yung iba po, pasintabi po sa kumakain, no, nagto-throw up, yung mga tipo, so masakit ang tiyan. So ito yung initial signs and symptoms. Kung hindi kin at hindi na-extract doon sa history na galing pala sa mga lugar na may positive for hantavirus, baka ma-miss ito ng doktor na sabi niya, trangkaso lang yan. Kasi uso naman ngayon yan. Number 2, baka ano yan, another kind of virus, no? Tapos until such time na mag-manifest po ng hirap ng paghinga, chest pain, tubig sa baga, yung maganto, tubig sa puso and everything. Saka pa lang po at the same time, after lumabas yung resulta po ng blood test, no? Doon lang po siguro natin malalaman na ito po yung hantavirus.
Pero I was wondering, Doc, could climate change, or let's say yung mga weather temperatures natin, especially here in the Philippines, could increase the risk of outbreak?
Wala po. Wala naman po. Kasi matagal na yan eh. Walang pinipiling o kung ano man yan, kung summer or winter or what ano, wala pong pinipiling ganon, no? Kahit na po mainit, meron pa rin po or malamig, meron pa rin po tayong posible na mag-hantavirus po transmission. Lalo na po kung pinag-usapan po natin kung may mga infected tayong mga daga.
Well, I was wondering if there's a possibility na a rodent infected with hantavirus was on board on the MV ship, the Hondu ship. That's why nagkaroon po ng outbreak doon sa loob. Is that a possibility?
Alam mo, yan ang hinagilap nila kaagad. No? Naganap sila kaagad sa cruise ship kung meron nga ba. Pero apparently, syempre, hindi naman, I don't know what happened to the investigation. Pero ang sinasabi kasi, yung mga tao kasing nasa loob ng cruise na yon, nung time na yon po, kung saan-saan kasi nang galing. Okay? In particular, merong Argentina and Chile na kung saan meron talagang mga nagkaroon ng history po ng clusters of cases of hantavirus before 2018, 2020. Nagkaroon na po ng mga kaso po ng hantavirus sa mga lugar na yan. Sila din po yung mga sumakay doon po sa barkong yon na hindi natin alam, baka from the ground at sumakay,
may
baka
dala
talaga ng virus. No? Yung Andes strain na virus, ito yung capable for human-to-human transmission. So, kaya nga po, nasa gitna ng dagat ngayon, ito pong cruise ship na ito, kasi nga 45 days ang kinakailangan mong hintayin para mag-manifest, no? Incubation period is about 1 week to 8 weeks. 1 week to 8 weeks. So, talagang matagal po. So, kung binabantayan po lahat ng mga, ang problema nga lang po kasi, marami na silang naibabang pasahero bago nag-manifest. Ito po mga pasyente namatay
haba ng incubation period.
3 nga po ito namatay. So ngayon, ang WHO tinatrack nila lahat yung mga bumaba na to na baka mag-manifest sa land, no? Sa land kung saan man sila nakatira. Yung mga tipo. So talagang binibigyan sila ng abiso so na meron ditong close monitoring among these mga patients.
So what do we usually use to measure or to identify this virus? And are we capable here in the Philippines to identify that virus if nandito na yan sa atin?
Meron naman tayong blood test, meron tayong mga PCR, meron tayong antigen antibody test po na pwede pong gamitin. So kinakailangan talaga maging partikular ang ating gobyerno, pantalan, and the airport. Nako, ingat-ingat po tayo kasi meron na po nag-positive sa Singapore. Okay? So, kapitbahay 3.5 hours away lang from us. No? So dapat po mag-ingat po tayo, ang problema nga lang po kasi since na matagal 1 week to 8 weeks ang incubation period, can you imagine if this has spread in Singapore and then namasyal papunta dito, nag-Siargao, nag-Boracay and everything, ganyan. Napitpit niya yung virus. Tapos saka pala nag-manifest dito sa Pilipinas kasi ang lakat ng incubation period. Incubation period is a period wherein kailangan mo na mag-multiply, dumami mo na yung virus para magpakita ng signs and symptoms. Pero kung pumasok sa ating pantalan or sa ating pong airport na wala, asymptomatic. 'Di ba? Kasi nga matagal ang incubation period eh. 'Di ba? So yun ang problema natin.
So should we have stricter border control now?
Dapat talaga. Hindi nawala yan eh. Dapat hindi nawala yan, ano? Kasi alam naman po natin, andito pa rin ang COVID. May COVID pa rin. So dapat hindi nawala yung border control na yan.
Alright, thank you so much for your time, infectious diseases specialist, Dr. Ray Salinel Jr. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The 2026 MPTC Tour of Luzon has entered its 14th and final stage. For the latest, let's bring in our mobile journalist, Denise Valdez Sancho. Denise, go ahead.
Good morning, Diego and Angela. Parami na ng parami ang mga nag-aabang na cycling enthusiasts dito sa ating finish line sa Baguio City dahil nga ngayon na yung last stage, the last and the finale of the 14th-stage Tour of Luzon 2026. As of latest, nangunguna si Jude De Jong, the defending champion from last year, dito sa ating 177.8 kilometer race. And there are about 100 kilometers left na lang no, mula Pangasinan going here to Baguio. But so, balikan muna natin yung nangyari kahapon. No? Medyo nag-shake up yung standings sa ating Tour of Luzon. Although nangunguna pa rin si Nikita Shevchenko of LCW in the overall lead. So pumapangalawa sa kanya si Anton Luby of 7-Eleven Click Road Bike Philippines with only 3 minutes and 50 seconds worth of a difference. So titingnan natin how things will be shaken up after they finish this last stage, the 14th stage here in Baguio. Again, that's 177.8 kilometers. Kanina they rolled out about 9 a.m. So we're expecting the riders to finish about 1 p.m. here in Baguio City. Diego and Angela.
All right, thank you for that, mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho.
The Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas and Signal TV have strengthened their broadcast partnership for continued coverage of local and international basketball events.
Partnership renewed. The Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas or SBP and Signal TV signed the contract renewal on Tuesday, May 12, continuing more fruitful years for broadcast partnership. With their long-standing collaboration, SBP is already assured that Signal TV's expertise on sports broadcasting will provide more quality sports content to the Filipinos.
The partnership throughout the years has been very productive, no? At least on our side. I hope Signal can say the same. Obviously, it's the expertise of Signal TV when it comes to sports broadcasting and marketing. It's already there, so all we have to do is partner with them to benefit from that as well.
Other representatives from both organizations also attended the signing ceremony at Signal's office, including MediaQuest President, which is also the President of SBP, Victor Rico Vargas, alongside MQuest Chief Finance Officer Christopher Lizo, and Signal's Chief Revenue Officer Gerard Milan. Meanwhile, the Basketball League's Executive Director also cited the upcoming event with Signal, where the country will host the tournament.
Year to year yung contract natin on the marketing side, no? But we have a longer term agreement with Signal also as our TV partner. In the near future, at least, no, we are hosting the Siaba qualifiers for the FIBA Asia Cup U18 Women's tournament in Bacolod from June 2 to 6, and Signal will be there with us to cover the event.
The FIBA U18 Women's Asia Cup Siaba qualifiers will feature delegates across Southeast Asia. But aside from this, both organizations hope to expand the reach of their future basketball plans to other areas in the Philippines this year. Kapatid Ray Vicente, we are One News.
And that wraps up today's episode of News and Views.
Join us again tomorrow. I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
And I'm Angelo Castro III. Kapatid, we are One News.
All sides, all the time.